everybody, and welcome to today's iStore Meet session, and welcome to Rachel, and thank you for joining us for this session. So just very quickly, my name is Demi. I'm just going to do a very quick intro, and then I'm going to hand over to you, Rachel. So iStore Meets is a series of workshops and events brought to you by the iStore, and this session is in partnership with Think Ahead. We have a lineup of workshops hosted by our best product trainers and industry experts to help you learn more about the products you love to connect with, create with, get fit with, and also be more productive. The iStore Meets program covers a variety of topics to help you now and in the future, such as productivity, fitness, education, creativity, and much more. Hosted online now, as well as your closest iStore in the future, please feel free to visit our website to have a look at the different sessions we're running and to book. I will be sharing all these resources with you after today's session. So yeah, all the resources I cover in the intro, I'll share with you. Just a reminder, the iStore is hosting their monthly competition where you could stand a chance to win a 1,500 Rand iStore gift card. And all you have to do is take a picture of your home setup while you're watching one of our sessions. You can share tips that you've learned from the sessions, illustrations you've done on your iPad, or photos you've taken with your iPhone, and post that to either Facebook or Instagram using the hashtag iStoreMeets. Please just be aware that Facebook and Instagram stories will unfortunately not be entered. So just very quickly, Think Ahead works in partnership with schools to support you in your 21st century teaching and learning journey. We help school practitioners design and implement the best possible education experiences for teachers and students in the most cost-effective, sustainable, and accessible way possible. The Think Ahead team is dedicated to helping educators in schools during this challenging time, and not just now, but really at any given time. So please feel free to contact us if you'd like a one-on-one call, some personal or group training sessions, or if you just would like to chat. You can contact us using inquiries at Think Ahead. And in a couple of slides, I'll show you where you can get all the team members' details. So Think Ahead has put together a checklist for a school successful journey to meet these challenges. The process also addresses elements that can continue successful 21st century learning beyond COVID-19. Think Ahead will work with your team to support your planning and implementation, plus review the continuity and sustainability of the solutions beyond this period. So for more information, again, please pop us an email. Really excitingly, Think Ahead brings you virtual workshops that our team can facilitate to help you navigate and create successful and meaningful online learning experiences for your students. Okay, so we have this really amazing Facebook group called Couch to Class, and on this group we have so many members that really just share their experiences and advice and tips, as well as advice and tips coming from Think Ahead, all on remote learning. So please visit that group. There you'll also be able to find all our team members and our contact details. We are so excited to announce that submissions for our annual Excellence in Education Awards are open. And we have some returning categories as well as some brand new categories. One of the categories that we've launched this year is the hashtag My Lockdown category. And with COVID-19 being our unforeseen reality of 2020, we want to hear from you about your personal lockdown experiences, your stories, your feelings. Submissions can be submitted and showcased immediately by students in the student's personal capacity. So please encourage them to go and have a look at that website. It's edexcellenceawards.co.za for more information about all the categories, as well as to submit your entries. Okay, so I see a lot of you have already started using that, but just for the rest of you, we'd like the session to be as interactive as possible. With me, I also have one of my colleagues, my co-pilot for today, Nick, and between the two of us and Rachel, we would love to answer all your questions. So please, if you've got any questions, pop them in the Q&A. If we can help you, we will type you back a response. Otherwise, we'll leave it open for Rachel to answer right at the end. end. And here we go. Let's just introduce Rachel. Thank you for joining us. Rachel's an Apple Distinguished Educator and foreign language teacher from the Isle of Man. And we're really glad to have you here. Thank you, Rachel. And I'll hand over to you now.
Thank you very much. I am delighted to be back with you. I was here yesterday and actually on Monday, and it didn't go so well. And so I'm really pleased that we've managed to put this back on and that you've all turned up again. We have absolutely loads to get through, so I'm just going to quickly share my screen and make a start. Demi, when I share my content, can you just let me know if you can hear me? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Right, let's get going. Lovely. So today we are back in one of my favourite apps of all time, Keynote. And if you were with me yesterday, we were looking at something, I suppose it's quite academic. We were looking at a learning cycle. Today it's a little bit more creative and I suppose a bit more fun. We are going to create collages in Keynote. And as Demi so kindly said, I live on the Isle of Man and I work full-time at a school called St Ninian's High School. I'm an ADE from the class of 2015 and I'm an APLS as well. And I'm absolutely delighted to be with you to talk you through some of the ideas I have about creating collages. So, why might we want to create collages? Well, I think some students really struggle to express themselves in written format, and collages are a really great way of enabling students to express themselves in a different way, and they can use all sorts of different media, speech, video, and they can be super creative. They're also really fun to make, and they're a great way of getting students to build lots of Keynote skills that they can then use in other projects. So what are we going to learn? Well, we're going to learn all sorts of things like changing the background of our slides. We're going to talk about how we remove backgrounds from photographs. We're going to mask photos and shapes. We're going to add borders. We're going to do drawings. We're going to add audio and add video too, and hopefully we're going to have a little bit of fun. And hopefully you're all going to learn something and you're going to be able to take away that your students can maybe use in the coming weeks when they're sat at home. Okay, I'm just going to come out of present mode so that I can build these collages for you. Right, we're actually starting quite complicated. I don't really know why I started with this, so I thought it was going to be easy, but it is reasonably complex. We are going to start with, I was trying to think of collages. What sort of collages might we want to build? Well, we might have a topic that we're looking at a country, and we might want to build a collage to show people exactly what we know about that country. So we're going to try and build this collage about Spain. Excuse me. And because I'm going to be pushed for time, I've part built it. The first thing we need to do, if you look at this one, is we need to add a background. So I'm actually going to go and search for a picture, and I'm going to grab Safari and I'm going to pull it into split screen like this, and you'll see that it's going to a website called unsplash.com. Now, unsplash.com is a really cool place to get photos that you can use in your work, and you don't have to pay for them. You do have to give attribution, but you don't have to pay for them. So I'm going to go to search. I'm going to search for search Spain map. Right. Scroll down. Okay, this is the map that I want, and I'm going to download it. So I'm going to press download. And download again. And if you see at the top of my screen, I don't know if you can see that, it's like a little circle with a down arrow. It's bouncing up and down, showing me that I've downloaded something. Now, if I tap on there, I can see my downloads. And I'm just going to press the export button, the square with the arrow in, bottom left, like that. I'm going to save my image. Okay. When I'm in split screen, this middle handle in the middle of the screen means I can just get rid of Safari like that. Okie doke. So with no blue lines, nothing tapped on my slide, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to add, she says. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to paintbrush and I'm going to go to background. And you can see that there are lots of things. I can change the color. I can do a color gradient, just like it's done on the screen now, where you get a light color at the top and a dark color at the bottom. And one of the other things I can do, I'm just going to change this back to white, is I can add an image, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to tap image, here on the right. And then just below it, there's a little grey arrow. I'm going to tap that. You can see in my recent mind map. Okay. My maps come in, and that's all fine. It looks lovely, except you can't see the text. We're going to go back into our paint and we can see our text. Right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add these people at the top. Okay. So I'm going to go to the add button right at the very top of my screen. And I'm going to come to this third menu across, which is like two shapes. And this is the icon library. There are lots and lots of icons that we can use. You can scroll through them, so you can choose a category and look at them. But I would recommend that your students just search. So tap the magnifying glass, and we're going to search for people. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to add this person. I've got quite fat fingers, so I'm zooming in. Oops, undo. There we go. I'm going to have that person, and lovely. I'm going to have a man as well. Oops. You can resize him. Let me get him up there. There we go. Lovely. Okay. So I've got my people, and what I want to say is I want to tell everybody about the population of Spain. Okay. So I'm going to come back into split screen again. Like so. And this time I'm going to type, whoops, get rid of you. Okay, population of Spain 2020. Let's go. Problem is when I go into Safari, so I'm not going to go into Safari because I think it messes with Zoom a little bit. What I will tell you is that you can actually split screen in Safari, and you can pull text from Safari directly into your collage. I demonstrated, but I don't, because I think it might just kick me out of Zoom again, and it would delay us even more. But you can do that, and so maybe you want to have a little play. You saw me split screen to get a picture over. You can do the same thing, and you hold your finger on the text, and you literally just drag it into Keynote, and it's super easy, and it's great for young children to be able to do that, because then they don't have to copy and paste, or they don't have to spell things properly, and they can just literally drag the text over into their collage. Right, you can see that I have already added the highest mountain and the longest river. But what we're going to do now is we're going to say, if I just show you here, we're going to say what Spain is famous for, and we're going to use some emojis. Now, you can put emojis into your, I need to go to basic. You can put emojis into your collages. An emoji is regarded as a text in Keynote. So we're just going to grab a text box. There we go. And I'm going to increase the size of that. So at the moment, it says here, body text. And actually, the quickest way to do it is just to call it a title. And that title, it might not be big enough. I don't know, it should be. There you go. And I'm just going to delete it. When I open my keyboard, I'm just going to go to my emoji board now. Spain is super famous for flamenco dancing, so you cannot search emojis, which is a real pain, but I'm going to pop my dancer in. There she is. It's also famous for oranges. If you've ever been to Spain, please do go and buy some oranges. They will taste like nothing else on earth. And the easiest thing to do, I have found, is to take your emoji, tap on it, so it's got the blue dots and a box round, copy, tap again and paste, and then just double tap in the box, delete that emoji, and then go for another one. So I'm going to find an orange like so, and you can repeat this ad infinitum. There we go. Double tap, emoji keyboard, and I was going to put a bullfighter in there. I was going to find my picture of a bull. Where is it? I cannot see it. It is. You're all shouting at me, I know, from the other side of the screen. It's there, Rachel. I genuinely cannot see it. Oh, there we go. There we are. Okay. So those are the things that Spain is famous for. Now, we're going to talk about the main industry in Spain. And that main industry is tourism. I'm just going to move my little title up there. Now, to depict tourism, you might want to bring a photo in, or you might bring just like an icon, but we can make our own little picture to depict tourism. And we're going to use just icons to do that. So we're going to build this at the bottom. If you can see my picture at the bottom there. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to completely get a blank slide. And we're going to put on the back a background. So if you can remember how to do that, you press the paintbrush. And this time we are going to go for a gradient. And my top colour is going to be blue like the sky. And my end colour is going to be yellow like the beach, like so. Good. Now, all we need to do is we need to add some sort of beachy icons. So I'm just going to go into the icon gallery here. So I'll just show you again. I'm sorry, sometimes I go too fast. So I'm going to press add. And I'm going to go to the shape gallery. And then I'm going to go to the magnifying glass, the search button. I'm going to type sun. I'm going to add the sun. Pop it in the corner. Now, to change the colour of that, you need to have the blue dots around. And I'm just going to press the paintbrush. That was quite hard to say. And I'm going to go to style. I'm just going to choose yellow for the sun. And then we're going to just build our picture in that way. So the next thing I'm going to have is I'm going to get myself a boat on the horizon. I'm going to change the colour of it. Oops. I'm going to add some water because it doesn't really look like the sea. There we are. I'm going to add that water like this. Just going to change the colour of that and make it blue. Now, obviously, if I try and stretch that across, it just gets bigger. I don't want it to be bigger. I want it to be that size. So I'm going to copy and paste the shape and join it all together. So I'll just copy, paste, match it up, paste, match that up, paste. It doesn't matter if it goes off your screen when you play it, you can't see it. I'm going to hold my finger on one of those, and then I'm going to tap all the others. Can you see all the blue dots come up? When I let go, I get an option, group. And so they are now one thing. So that's my sea all done. I'm going to bring my boat to the front. It looks a bit odd. It looks like it's not on the sea, but it looks kind of like it's sinking, which isn't great. So I'm going to tap on it. I'm going to go to the paintbrush. And one of my options is arrange. And it has this slider. And if I push the slider to the right, it brings my boat to the front. And if I push it to the back, I push it to the left, sorry, it sends it to the back. So I want it at the front. So there we go. And I can have it halfy-halfies, but I don't think we need to. Lovely. So I've got my boat. I need a chair. There we go. Beach chair will do me. Super. I obviously need a drink. I'm on holiday after all, right? There we go. Oops. I'm going to make that grey. A bit like a glass. And my final touch, oh, I've got my umbrella. Sorry, it's not my final touch. There's my beach umbrella. Now, with a beach umbrella, I'm just going to turn it to the colour pink, and we're going to rotate it. So it's quite hard to describe this, but I'm going to put my finger on the picture, and with my other finger, it's going to be outside the dots of the shape, and I'm going to move it up and down, and that rotates it. It's quite hard to show you that, but if you have a go, so put your finger on the picture and then move your other finger outside the box and it will rotate. Hopefully somebody in the chat can explain that better than I've done. Lovely. Right, so there's my beach umbrella. And my final thing is I'm going to put a lighthouse. Let's see, there we go, there's a light. And you can put this just off, because when you play it, like I said, you don't really see it. Fill colour. Done. And I'm actually just going to play that so you can see what it looks like. There we go. We're going to export that as an image. So we're going to come to the very far end here. It's a circle with 3 dots in. I'm just going to tap that. And my second option here is export. I'm going to export that as an image. Now this is slide number 6. So I don't want all my slides. I just want slide 6 to 6, like so. Go back to image options, export it, save my image, and we're away. And so in here now, if I go to add, and then I go to my media button on the end, I go to photo, there we have it, that's my little picture. Make it a bit smaller, and my main industry is tourism. Lovely. Right, the final thing then. Here you will, oops, sorry, there you go. At the bottom, you'll see that I've made a little sign saying Spain. So I'm going to teach you a neat trick here. So on a blank slide, I have put the word Spain in quite large letters. Doesn't matter what colour it is, because we are going to fill it with our own pattern. So I'm going to get another blank slide here, and I am going to draw myself a pattern. So I'm going to go to the add button, and I'm going to come into this media menu, and I'm going to come down to drawing, excuse me, and oh, you can see I've been playing already, right? I'm going to, if you've never been in the drawing tools before, there's a pen. When you tap it again, you get different thicknesses and different opacity with this slider. Likewise a pencil, likewise a crayon. This is a fill tool, this is an eraser, and this is a lasso tool. Right, here we go. So I'm going to draw myself. Now, you can draw whatever pattern you fancy. And I am drawing away and drawing. I want people to know that I've done it by myself. I don't want them to think that, oops, I went yellow. I'm trying to go for a bit of a Spanish flag theme. Right. Colour it in. Super duper. Like, now, if I get the lasso tool and I draw around it, one of my options is duplicate. And it will duplicate for me. And I can ask it to duplicate again. And it will duplicate. Super. Now I'm going to press done. And I have my, my pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into split screen with my photos this time. And I'm going to put my finger on my pattern, and it's going to lift out, and I'm just going to drag it into recent. When it saves with no background, which is brilliant. So I'm going to grab the handle in the middle again, and I'm just going to get rid of photos. We don't need it anymore. I'm going to go to the word Spain. I'm going to tap it so it's got a box around it. I'm going to go to paintbrush, and I am going to go to text. I'm going to go to text color. And we know that there are presets, there's colors, there's gradients, there's also image. And if I go to change image, and I pop that in there, ta-da! We have made our Spain word. Now, it's not perfect, and you can get it to be a little bit better, but in the time that we have, I'm just going to copy it, I'm going to take it to our collage, and I'm going to press paste. And there we have it. Oops, there is our title for our collage, one that we made all by ourselves. So that's our first collage done. Well done, everybody. Okay, next collage is a little bit easier. Nobody can travel, boo-hoo, at the moment. No one can get anywhere. So you could maybe get your students to make a collage about where they would like to visit. I teach languages, so this is really, really great for me. Unfortunately, some of this is not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to hear this, but what I've done is I put myself in a postcard from Paris, and in this top right-hand corner of my collage, you'll see there's like a little speaker symbol, and that means that I've recorded something. I've recorded my own voice saying "Le week-end dernier, je suis allée à Paris, c'était super." I've recorded myself saying that, so that I have a talking postcard. And your students could make lots and lots of talking postcards about where they would like to visit, what they would like to do there. They could make a whole keynote deck of collages about places around the world. So I'm going to show you how to make this collage. And we are going to start with a blank slide. And I'm going to come to add again. I'm just going to go to photo or video, and I've got, here we go. In here, pre-saved, fortunately, is a picture of Paris. Right, so that's my Paris picture. And actually what I want to do is I want to add a border to it. So I'm going to press, it's got all the dots on it. I'm going to go to the paintbrush. I'm going to go to style. I'm going to turn the border on. Now, border's turned on because the thing is blue. I'm going to go to the thing below it which says style. If I press on there, it gives me oodles of styles and frames. Now, my favourite frame, one of my favourite frames, is this one that looks like I just stuck it on the wall, like that. Now, my only issue now is that you can't really see that, so I'm actually going to change the background colour of my slide. So with nothing pressed, paintbrush, background, just going to give it a little bit of grey. Okay, so you can see that it looks like I've stuck something on the wall. Right, now what we're going to do is we are going to bring in this picture of me, and we are going to get rid of the background. So in order to be able to do this, the students would need to take a selfie and make sure that the background is plain, completely plain. It does work if it's not plain, but it's a lot harder work. So if they can get a picture of themselves on a very plain background, this works a treat. Right, I'm going to go to add. I'm going to come into multimedia menu, photo, and down in my assets here is a picture of me on a white background. I don't want the white background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press paintbrush and I'm going to go to image. Okay, and then can you see here it says instant alpha? I'm going to press that and I'm going to drag across that white. And do you see how it goes turquoise? Now if I let go, it has removed the background for me, which is magic. And I'm going to press done. But I want me to stand out in Paris, of course, who wouldn't? And so with the blue dots around my picture, I'm going to go back to the paintbrush. I'm going to go to style. I'm going to turn the border on. Now you can't see what happened there because the border is black. If I make it white and I pull up the width, you'll see that I now have a nice border and I stand out as a visitor in Paris. Lovely. Okay, what we're going to do next then is I'm going to make me speak. Not literally at the moment, but I'm going to press add again. And I'm going to come into the shapes menu, get rid of that. And we're going to be in basic. And I'm going to select this speech bubble. I don't really want it over the Eiffel Tower, so I'm just going to move it a bit. Make it a little smaller, maybe move me. So what I like about these sort of collages, you can adjust it so it works for you. Now if you pull the little green, can you see the green button here? If I pull that out, it makes the tail of the speech bubble move. Or the other green one makes it fatter. So there we are. Right. The great thing about shapes, any shape from the shape library, is that you can write straight into them. So I'm just going to double tap in here and I'm going to write, I'm just going to pop my keyboard into French. Je suis allé à Paris. There we go. Oops, where did all my writing go? Oh, we'll start again. Je suis allé. If you use an accent, so if you hold your finger on the key, you can slide up to get your accent. If you tell a French teacher this has got to be perfect. Allé à Paris. There we go. And now I can actually make myself say it. So I can actually record myself onto my collage by pressing add. Then I come into this media button on the end, and one of my options is record audio. Now, because of the way that Zoom works, I can't actually show you all the functions of record audio. It is dead straightforward. I'll show you what you do. You'd press record audio, your slide moves up a wee bit, and then at the bottom you have this word record. You tap on the word record, you press, you speak, you'll see like a little wave, a voice wave come up down the bottom. You can actually trim the ends, so if you wait for ages before you speak, or you have something happen at the end of your speech, you can trim the ends off, and then you just press insert and it'll go into your collage, and you'll end up with a little speaker like this one there. And there we have it. We've made our second collage, nice and easy. We can pretend that we are anywhere in the world. I think possibly I might choose Cape Town, but of course, who wouldn't? Right, what's collage number 3? Okie doke. This is a little bit of fun, and students absolutely love making these. So we are going to make our own Picasso. And what we're going to do is we are going to mask some shapes so that we can make our Picasso. Now, this is relatively complicated, but you've learned a lot of this stuff already. So what I've done is I have set it all up. So that's me in there. I'm going to pop myself a border around me, turn the border on. I'm going to make it a different colour. I'm going to go a slightly turquoisey blue. There we are. We can be in our blue phase. Now, because we're going to add stuff on top of that picture, I do not want that picture to move. And you can use this at any point with any collage. So I'm going to tap that, and I'm going to go to the paintbrush. I'm going to go to arrange, and one of the options is lock. And now I can put stuff over the top of my face, and I won't have two things moving at the same time. I can also, I've already locked it in place actually. I've also put some drawing already on the page. You know how to do that, where you would press add, you would come into this menu and you would go to drawing, so you can pop some drawings on. We might put a little bit more on in a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to mask some shapes to make our face go a little bit weird. So we'll need some photos. I'm going to get myself a blank slide. So at the top left-hand corner of my screen, it says presentations. If you follow that all the way down, you'll see a square with a plus in it. And I'm going to press on that. And I'm going to bring up a blank. And this is just a blank canvas for us to work on. We're going to copy everything back into the collage in a sec. So add photo or video. Now I'm in here. Okay, so I am going to grab, this is my son. Here we go. And I'm going to borrow one of his eyes, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to add. I'm going to go to the shape tool, and I'm going to get this circle. I'm just going to pop it over there. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit and make it a little bit smaller. Set it right on top of his eye. Maybe smaller still. Probably something like that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to tap there on the circle, and I'm going to tap the picture. I'm going to let go, and one of my options is mask with shape. Done. I have an eye. Okay, so I'm going to actually cut that. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to pop it on top of my eye. I look a bit odd. And then we're going to put a border around it. So we'll go to Style, turn the border on. Maybe change the colour of it. There we go. I'm going to go back to my canvas, and I'm going to choose myself another picture. And so I'll do that again so you can all have a practice. We will grab, this is my brother. Here he is. And we will grab his smile, I think. So I'm going to go to add, and I think I'll probably use a square. And I'm just going to pop that right over there like that. And finger on the square, finger on the photo, let go, mask with shape. No, it's not quite right, so I can just fiddle about. Can you see how I can move the photo so I get it to where it wants to be? Make it a little bit smaller. Lovely, done. So then I'm going to go cut. I'm going to paste it. Whoops, there we go. I'm going to paste it on there, make it a little bit smaller so it fits my face. I might have it at a jaunty angle so we can practice our rotation. So put your finger on the picture and rotate. There we go. Pop another border on, like so. Blue. Lovely. Okay. And so on and so forth until you have all of your face put together. Now, you can use this in so many ways, and I'll show you another way on our final slide in a minute. My students really like it to talk about parts of the body or parts of the face or describing somebody, and they enjoy making these kind of collages, and they think it's absolutely hilarious. They can, of course, record audio in French on top of that, saying, you know, he's got blue eyes and brown hair and so on and so forth. Obviously, you can do it to make some bizarre art. But yeah, it's a fun way of maybe even getting to know your students at the beginning of a year, where they have to go and make friends and take photos and make a mashup of each other. It's also really good for the Christmas quiz, when you have to mash up people's faces and people have to try and guess. Right. I'm going to show you this next bit, but not totally, because I don't go into Safari in case it kicks me out of Zoom. But I am going to say you can make a link to something outside of Keynote. Okay, so imagine we are studying Picasso. I'm going to come to Add. I'm going to go to my Media tool. I'm going to go to Drawing. I'm just going to change that to a sort of blue colour. Okay, and I'm just going to check the thickness of it. It was a bit thick. I'm going to write, who was Picasso? Now, I'm going to press done. I can imagine I can go to YouTube now. I can go into YouTube and I can get myself a link to maybe a kid's explanation of who Picasso was and what he did. So I can grab that link. I can tap on here, and can you see one of my options is link? So if I press link, I can link it not to a slide as it says at the top, but I can link it to a web page, and I can just paste my web page in there. And we would have a link, and the kids could just, or whoever was marking could just press that, and it would take them out to a video about Picasso. It could even be their own video if they wanted to. They can actually add their own videos into collages, which is one of the things that we're going to do next. So there we go. We've made ourselves a lovely Picasso. Super. Right. Our final big collage, the pièce de la résistance. Okay. We are going to make this. I'm just going to play it so you can see what it does. Oh, I've got a little waving man on my collage. Right. So we're going to gather all of the skills that we had, and we are going to build a big collage with all of our skills. So I've started it off. What have I done? I have added a blue background. You know, you guys know how to do that. I have put my son with a border around him. I've got rid of the background of him, and he's got a border around him. He is locked in place. I'm just going to unlock him actually and move him over slightly. Then I will re-lock him into place. Arrange, lock. I have a sunshine, and now we're going to add all of our other elements. Right, let's start then with the, we're going to start with the surfboard behind Seb. So I'm going to come into a blank slide, and I'm going to press add. I'm going to go to the shapes menu. I'm going to go to search, and I'm going to search for a surfboard. Here we go. Right, now lovely though this is, it is not the surfboard that my son would choose. He would never choose something plain. So we're going to adapt our surfboard to make it something of our own. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy it. So we're going to have all of our dots around our surfboard. I'm going to press paintbrush. We're going to go to style. I'm going to drop that opacity right down. And then we are going to copy. So we're going to go to add. We're going to go into the multimedia menu on the end and then drawing. And Seb would definitely want a yellow surfboard. So anyway, as I was saying, Seb would definitely want a yellow surfboard. So I'm going to get my felt tip. I'm going to have it on a nice thick line. I'm going to go to yellow. And I'm just going to, can I just touch on this live? Because I have the world's shakiest hand. I'm going to copy this surfboard as best I can, like that. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fill tool, and I'm going to change that to yellow, and I'm going to press fill and fill. Good. I might need to do a little bit of touching up with my pen, like so. That looks a little bit better. Okay, we can obviously embellish our surfboard in whatever way we want. Put me some lines on there. Maybe the odd squiggle. Okay, we're done. Right, I'm going to move that surfboard away, and I can delete the icon. Delete, it is gone. I'm going to copy this now. Actually, I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to paste it onto my screen. Now, we want this to be behind Seb. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the blue dots around it. We're going to turn to the paintbrush, and this time we're going to change the, sorry, I think I went too quickly there. Tap, paintbrush, we're in arrange. I'm going to pull this slider so that hopefully, there we go, that will go behind Seb. Lovely, he has his surfboard, he's a happy kid. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get these beach balls moving. Now, I need to go to my photos for that. And do I have them in there? I don't know if I do. Let's see if I have them in here. I'm slightly worried that I don't have beach balls and I might just have to copy and paste them over. I might have to copy and paste them over. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab those beach balls from the previous one that I made. And I'll explain to you, as I do it, I'll explain to you how I did it. So I found myself a photograph of a beach ball in a swimming pool. And all I did was I used the mask with shape trick that I showed you before. And I masked out the beach ball. And then, oops, sorry. And then I just did exactly what I'm doing now, copy and pasting all of the beach balls onto my collage, like so. Okay. Right. Not the last thing, but another thing that we're going to do is we're going to add Seb an ice cream. So we've used our mask with shape, we've masked our shape, we've got our 3 beach balls going across the screen like that. And now we're going to give him an ice cream. So we're going to go to add. We're going to go to the shape tool. We're going to search ice cream. Lovely. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't know about, some of the shapes, not all of the shapes do this, but some of the shapes actually break apart, and you can use them either as separate shapes or you can colour the 2 different bits separately. And that's what we're going to do with the ice cream. So with the dots around it, we're going to go to paintbrush. We're going to go to arrange. And can you see at the bottom, you get this option break apart. I don't think they have this on a Mac. So if you're working on a Mac, you might not get this, but they definitely have it on iPad. Break apart. So now I have 2 different shapes. I'm not going to move them too far because I'm going to join them back up again in a minute. So the top colour I want it to be a sort of a minty green for choc chip, and the bottom I want to be a sort of cornet colour like that. And now I'm going to join those back together. So I'm going to press one shape and then the next shape and let go and group. And there we go. Doesn't really look like a mint choc chip, does it? So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of drawing to embellish it a bit more. So we're going to go to add. I'm going to go to images. I'm going to go to drawing. I'm going to, that'll do, get my felt tip. Get a chocolate brown colour. And then put a flake in, like so. And I'm going to put some chocolate chips on. Who's going to do it for me? Are they all going behind? They probably are. Let's just check. Where are my chocolate chips? Ah, can you see what's happened? This is quite interesting. So this, if I just move this out of the way, when I tap on my drawing, can you see it's joined itself to the surfboard? That sometimes happens, but you don't need to worry because we can fix it. So what we do is we go to our drawing tools again, and we get this lasso, and we draw around the thing that we want to separate. We press separate, and then they can rejoin onto our ice cream. And I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna hold my finger on my chocolate, on the chocolatey bits, and then tap the ice cream, let go and group. And now they are one thing. And so that's our ice cream, like so, for Seb. He will be very happy. Okay. We're gonna finally add some embellishment. I'm gonna get my crayon. I'm gonna draw myself a little arrow. Now, this is the bit the kids love. The kids love just go filling in. That's not fat enough. Their collage. There we go. Best day ever, of course. Like so. I'm going to put some rays coming out of the sun. Oh yeah. Now, if your children are doing this, your school kids, they might tell you about a really good day that they've had. They could record themselves and they could put their voice onto their collage saying, oh, my best day ever was when we went to surf on Woolacombe Beach in Devon, would be what Seb would say. Or my best day ever was when, and so on. And so they can put their voice on. The other thing they can do is they can add video to their collage. I'm just going to press done in the top right hand corner because I've done all my paints and my pictures. And the way they would do that, if they want to add some videos, you go add. And can you see we're in photo or video? Now I have video already done. So if they have video already done, they would do this. Their video would be in an album, usually recent. Here's my video. This is a little stop motion that we did down at the beach of our stone man waving at us. We'll pop him there. I'm going to press paintbrush. I'm going to give him a border. And I'm going to give him that. So it looks like we've pinned it onto our collage. And when we actually play the slide, he will move just like he did before. The other thing students could do is they could go to add into this multimedia menu, and then they could go straight to the camera and they could just record their face, and that would pop straight into their collage too. And so they can add lots and lots of multimedia to their collages to add interest to what they've done. And that's pretty much it. There's lots of ideas there for how you can use Keynote to make collages, to enable children to express themselves in a different way, not necessarily through lots of drawing, lots of writing, but through in a really creative way to show exactly what they know. I know for certain that my kids at home, when I'm homeschooling them, they're finding it really tiresome that we're always setting worksheets and they have to fill in the answers and they have to do this and they have to do that. this is a different way of approaching learning. It's a different way of saying, right, okay, get your creative on, show me, what do you know about X? Or tell me, what did you do last summer? Or where would you love to go and visit? And it's just a different way of presenting their learning. And so hopefully you will manage to get a little bit of something out of that, and you've got some ideas of how you can bring a bit of creativity to this period of home learning whilst we're all at home, and a little bit of interest for your students too. I'm just going to stop sharing this screen. Hopefully, come back to you guys. I don't know whether that's worked. Oh. There we go. And we're done.
Okay, so thank you, Rachel. We really, really appreciate it. That was so much of fun. I followed along with you, and it's so much of fun when you just have time to draw and to just create beautiful collages. So thank you very, very much. I just want to see if there's any questions that's popping up for you. No, fantastic. It's all just thank yous and really appreciate it. Fun and interactive. So yeah, I think that's it for us. Thank you everybody for joining. I'm going to just put up this last slide for you. There we go. So yeah, if you do have any questions, please send us a mail, drop us a mail, and let us know if you have any questions for us. What I will be doing is, after the session, I will send you all those resources from the beginning that I mentioned. And yeah, just feel free to contact us and let's have a chat about it. But thank you, Rachel, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you everybody for attending this session, and we hope that you have a lovely weekend.